Motherhood is chaotic, okay? And there's all these ways that we can talk about what we can do in motherhood to make it easier and better for us. But I think as a clinical psychologist and a mother of two, there is one thing that is completely underrated and we are not talking enough about. Welcome. My name is Dr. Piper Grant. I am a licensed clinical psychologist. I am a mother of two girls, and I am also the founder of Born In for Motherhood. In this space, I really seek to offer you ease, validation, and support through all of the resources, all of the chats, and hopefully maybe just a little bit of communities. And there is something that I think we need to stop gatekeeping, we need to start talking about, and that is the power of ritual. Now, when I say ritual, many people have different ideas. They think of big, practices, whether they're spiritual or religious. They think of all these things, fire burning and stuff like that. And okay, those can be rituals. But when I'm talking about ritual and motherhood, what I am talking about is daily practices that you already do, daily practices that are already in your schedule, that you imbued with intention, that you have intentionality behind and therefore give them meaning. This occurred to me when I was in postpartum after my second child. And I was lost. It was the middle of the pandemic. I had two babies. I had a baby and a toddler. And I was just feeling disconnected. I was a little bit lost. I was not feeling connected to my world. I was not feeling connected to my environment. I was not connected to my body. And I was thinking about, before I had kids, what was it that helped me? What was it that made me feel good and connected and all of these things? And I started thinking of exercise, and I started thinking of cycling, and I loved cycling, and I loved doing bar classes. And I was like, okay, great. One, I can't really access those things right now in the middle of the pandemic. But two, they don't feel as good to my body. They're not as of interest to me anymore. And so then I started thinking deeper, what was it about those things? And what I realized is that they were actions and things that I engaged in that were intentional. And it was because of the intention that it felt good. And so I started thinking about what are things that I can do every single day that have intention in them. And that is what ritual is everyday acts that we have intention behind. It is not about a routine. It is not about having to do more things. It's not about having to do things in a certain way. But for me, what it started with was just my morning cup of coffee. Now, I don't drink coffee anymore. And by the way, the only reason I miss coffee is because of what I'm about to tell you and the ritual that I had around it. But I started making my morning cup of coffee a ritual. And it became a ritual because when I would scoop the coffee grinds out to brew them, I could smell it. I could hear it. I can literally, when I started to when the coffee would start brewing, I could smell the coffee. I could hear the coffee percolating, the steam coming out of it. When I poured it, I could see it. I could smell it. All of these things became so sensory alive for me. And it just became a little moment of ease in my life. And it was a slight of just me time. And yes, there could have been kids screaming one place, and there could have been a husband asking me a question, and I could have had things that I had to do. But because I went into making that coffee with intention, it became my little morning ritual, and it became all mine. What ritual does is it engages our parasympathetic nervous system. This is why it's so important. Now, our parasympathetic nervous system, you might have heard about it. I always think of the parasympathetic nervous system as the parachute, right? It's the one that saves us. It is the rest, it's the digest, it's the easy, it's the calm. We want to engage our parasympathetic nervous system in order to feel grounded. And that is what rituals and practices offer for us. They offer a sense of safety. They offer a sense of calm to the body, and just as a little slice of just you times. Now, again, like I said, they don't need to be big. They don't have to be more than anything that you're doing in your life. Mine was just making a cup of coffee. I have other rituals in my life now, and I'll share a little bit about them. But this is not to add more to your schedule. This is just to do something within your routine that is intentional. Why I think that moms need them is I think that there is so much that happens in motherhood in which it's go, 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 nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. And this idea of slicing out time for us is, very difficult. I think it often gets packaged in this idea of self-care and needing to do things for yourself. But what that means is it becomes something big, and it becomes something that we have to do versus, hey, what am I already doing that I can make meaning out of? Where I think that we also kind of hold ourselves back is thinking about how do we keep ritual as part of our life. So here's the thing. First and foremost, just try and choose something that you already do and make intention out of it. Make it intentional. I start with my cup of coffee. Not anymore. Mine is now a cup of tea. But showering. I even think about bathing. Bathing can be a ritual. It's part of ritual too, I should note, is the sensory experience of it. There is a sensory experience in hearing things, tasting things, smelling things, seeing things, touching things. All of that lets us have this somatic experience in which it's really sensory driven, and that helps bring back up the parasympathetic nervous system and bring us back down to grounding. So how do we instill that? Find your one act. Find your one thing that you do already. Like I said, it could be bathing. It could be drinking a cup of water. It could be walking between your bedroom and your living room. But find one thing that you do regularly, doesn't even have to be daily, that you can make intention immediately of it. And then when you engage in the practice, you set your intention. What is my intention? To bring ease, to bring calm, to ground myself, to release, to let go. Like I think about in bathing. I think about a bathing ritual. When showering, and you can start feeling the water. If you're in the shower, you can start feeling the water coming down on your skin. You can hear the shower. Maybe you smell something, that bath salts, a bath soap. Maybe there's a shampoo, something that you can smell in the shower. And for me, when I'm showering, I start thinking about I'm letting go of all. If I'm showering at the end of the day, I'm letting go of all that has happened today. And literally imagining it coming off my body, washing down the drain and floating away. That to me is a ritual. It is a bathing ritual of release, right? A walking ritual. Let's say you walk from one room to the next. You can take 3 beautiful breaths between those rows that offer grounding, but the intention is maybe to reset, right? Maybe I'm resetting because maybe the day has started and I'm walking from my bedroom to the kitchen to begin the day. And I'm going to start making breakfast or something, right? And I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm offering a transition and a reset for myself to step into mothering right now. These are so important for us as moms. This is what I believe helps us fight burnout. I believe helps us transition. I believe it helps us feel good in ourselves as mothers. And when you think about a mom who is centered, grounded, nurtured, feeling good and strong, her children are centered, grounded, nurtured, and feeling strong. So a mother's sense of safety within herself offers a child a sense of safety within themselves. So rituals offer that to you. I really encourage you, engage in something daily. Again, don't make it something more than what it already is. Just put intentionality behind one act that you're already doing and see how it goes. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you guys next week. Take care. Bye.